Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you?
I am thrilled. As you know, this is my favorite time of year.
Of course.
The new season eve, I call it. It's great.
I'm really curious for you, and maybe this is a difficult question, but what would you say makes Big Brother Canada truly Canadian? Because it feels to me like it's more than just saying that the house guests are Canadian.
I think for us, and I don't know if it's because we're the country to the north of like a cultural behemoth, but I feel like we have this need to prove ourselves in that we want to be constantly pushing the envelope and pushing the conversation forward. And that goes for our challenges, for our twists, for our house design, for the breadth of house guests that we have, because it's true. I mean, ultimately, no matter what the trappings are, House or Big Brother is really about the people who play the game. And we have a lot of incredible Canadians, and we have such a diverse country in terms of region and language and ethnicity, let alone gender, sexuality. One of the best Big Brothers in the world. That's what we're going for every time.
What can you tell me about this season? What went into making this season a reality?
Mhm. Well, I think every season has a distinct flavor. And some of that has to do with the theme, and some of that has to do with the house guests. So, in terms of the theme and the house that sort of reflects that, it was just looking very soberly at the fact that you become a known quantity after this show. Whether you go out first, in the middle of the game, or you win the game, how much impact you have uh, is really up to you. There are some iconic players who leave early and iconic players who win the game or go right to the end. So I like that we're just looking dead on at the fact that these people will become famous in that Canadian way, and what are they willing to pay for that? How are they willing to play the game so that they are known in the most positive way possible? Because as you know, for Big Brother, the arc is long, right? You can start as a beloved player, and then maybe you're a villain by the end. Maybe you start and people cannot stand you, and by the end, people are literally weeping on their couches watching you get evicted. All of these things can happen because I've seen them happen. So I think that's one thing that I really like, is that it's not it's not like a byproduct of the show. Like, it is part of the show that people will know your name and be rooting for you and sometimes against you. And it's really incredible that we find these amazing players every year who are willing to do that and to be vulnerable and to open themselves up and share who they are, and try and sometimes fail and sometimes succeed. I'm in such awe of the house guests we have every year, and this year is no different. We've got some amazing players and a lot of super fans. So that's always fun to see.
Is it, are there always surprises when you're casting for the house guests? Or is it different every time? Or like, I'm sure it's different every time, but like, are there things that happen every time? Or what is that process even like?
The casting process is very difficult, right? Because it's a very tough thing that we are asking of players, right? You have to be fine with being like in sequester, so being in a hotel by yourself for a long time. Then you have to be in a house where not everything is under your control, right? If you're on slot, you're eating oatmeal for a week, right? Like, somebody is going to tell you to do that, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with maybe not getting alone time ever. You're not talking to people that love you or that you love. You're not getting that decompression time that you would get from like scrolling on your phone or watching movies or your favorite TV show. It's constant company and conversation, and that doesn't stop, right? That's a big ask, let alone do you pop? Do you sizzle? What are you going to do that's different? That desire to be an individual and be special, and then to maybe be famous because of that. It's a very hard thing to ask for. And every year we have a different combination of people. And every year we want the same thing. We want incredible people who just pop off your screen and are ready to play. And if we could hit every province, every territory, every region, every language, every background, we want it all. But we also are working with real people. So every year we just try to get the best mix we can for that season. And then, I mean, fingers crossed, I hope we get to do this for a long time so that every year it feels fresh and new.
Well, and the fact that you've got two mystery all-stars coming in this season, did that how do you make a decision like that? Was it like, well, we're gonna throw them this curveball this time?
Listen, that's a tough one because we have such incredible players. I mean, if you're a fan of the show, you know that that's not a line of BS. We have incredible, iconic players, players who came really close to winning and didn't. So you'd want to see them play again. Players that did win and their victories were so dominant that you would want to see if they could replicate it. People who left very early but showed such promise, and whether it was a twist or bad luck, because that of course does play into how a game goes or how a game plays out. You'd want to see them play again. So we have so many different people to choose from. We have a very, very deep bench of very exciting players. So could we do an all-stars with 40 people? Probably. I'm not kidding. Choosing two, very, very difficult for this season. But what I can tell you about these two is that they are both people who you would be thrilled to see if they could do what they did again, and how they would change knowing that they are massive targets coming into the game, especially with a group of super fans. So I think they're going to be really fun because you're going to root for them and you're going to root against them. I think that's impossible not to, because you always want to see the new players like outsmart the experienced players, but you also want to see masters of the game and how they create longevity in a game where they really should. That's what I'm excited for.
Having been the host all these years and then producer, executive producer, what is it like being part of the Big Brother Canada family?
I could not be more proud to be part of a show this excellent. Truly. I mean, I struggle to think of anyone who works on our team who's not operating at a 10. And when everyone is operating at a 10, everybody is there to like make each other look good. And oh my God, when the house is great and the theme is great and the house guests are great and the team creating these, helping the audience to understand all the storylines is great. It is a very, very wonderful, like creative place to be. So it'll never get old for me. I could do this till I die. And I would be this hyped about it every single season. I'm very, very proud of the show.
Thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on everything so far. Can't wait to see what's to come.
Yay. Thank you so much. And thank you for your interest. I really appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.